Hey guys, Eggerbeast here bringing you some World at War gameplay. Actually, this is a 2-for-1 video extravaganza over some Thompson gameplay in World at War. And the Tommy gun is one of my all-time favorite submachine guns behind the PPSH and Type 100. Basically, in this game, this is probably the second best submachine gun behind the Type 100. And that's because it has such high accuracy in game, but I like the PPSH better in real life just because it's a Russian weapon overall. In this first gameplay, I'm using Bomb Squad, Stopping Power, and Steady Aim, and I'd say Bomb Squad is almost a must when rushing with the submachine gun in a domination setup, because a lot of people like their bouncing betties, and you'll die a lot to those things if you're not too aware. In this game, I think I get like a 15 or 20 kill streak with the Thompson, followed by some mediocre gameplay after that, because this one guy uses Second Chance like the entire freaking game, and he just constantly destroys me. But there isn't too much you can do about that. Second Chance doesn't have a counter in this game. Heck, it never has had a counter. But I hope that's one thing that's removed in Black Ops 2 completely. It would be Second Chance, because that kind of plagued Black Ops for a while. And it was something that you really couldn't do much about, and it felt like you were getting cheated out of a lot of kills in some situations. Because in this game, it's the person who lands the killing bullet, just like in Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3. It's the person who lands the killing bullet who gets the points for the kill, and that can get frustrating because I put a guy down like right here, and I'm not sure if a teammate actually picks him up, but I put a guy down and he doesn't die, so I get punished for that. I don't get my kill because I put him down on his back. It just doesn't make sense. I think Wings of Redemption said it the best in a PKA episode, that Second Chance is like me going and killing a deer, but I kill the deer, I shoot him down, and you come along with a knife, steal him, and get the trophy for it. And that just doesn't make any sense. No sensible person would think that you actually got the kill on the deer if I hit the deer with my gun and you ran up and got it with a knife. It just doesn't compute. But, there isn't too much you can do about it, and it's just one of those things that is persistent throughout all the Call of Duties, and it's something I hope that changes. I think in this game I'm using the aperture sight on the Thompson. In the second game in this, I think I'm just using a bear. And that's probably aperture sight or round drum is how I'd prefer using this thing. I mean, I've used it both ways, but I think the aperture sight is a lot better in most situations, whereas the round drum gives you a little bit more flexibility with what you do with it. And, one of the things that the Thompson does really well is it's versatile. No matter what attachment you put on it, it's going to be pretty successful. The only thing I can say that isn't too good on it is the suppressor. On a submachine gun, I generally wouldn't recommend running a suppressor, especially one with a small magazine like the Thompson. One of its biggest drawbacks is that it has only a 20-round magazine, and 20 rounds isn't that much for a submachine gun. If you want to use a silent submachine gun, I definitely recommend using the PPSH or the Type 100, simply because they have such large ammo capacities. There's my 15 kill streak right there, and at this point I'm really excited. Because when you get that 15 kill streak, it's just something that just makes you feel good. It doesn't really mean anything in game, really. It's just something that they added to make you feel good about yourself in the game, and I miss that. It was supposed to be in Black Ops 1, but unfortunately it was removed just before release, and you can actually listen to the sounds that we're going to have for that when you got a 25 kill streak and whatnot, and it's actually really cool. If I can remember, I'll link that stuff in the description. But, that was just one of the feelings that made this game so much more fun, is that you get that huge 10 kill streak, 15 kill streak, 20 kill streak across your screen. And I think my kill streak there got actually ended by a guy in Second Chance, and that's just unfortunate. There's not much you can do when you're using a 20-round magazine weapon and you come up against a guy running Juggernaut and Second Chance. So, it's one of those things where you just have to learn to keep shooting until they drop. And when you got a gun with such low ammo capacity, that can sometimes be a little bit of an issue. But usually if you just maneuver the map properly, it's not that big of a deal. Now, as far as perks on the Thompson go, I say the stopping power is a must. You really, really don't want to use much else other than stopping power, because unlike the Type 100, which can be effective with double tap or Juggernaut or any other second tier perk, really, the Thompson's a little bit more interesting because it has higher accuracy, but it has a lower magazine count. So you need to make every bullet count. So I think that stocking power is a non-option on this thing, unless you're using a round drum, in which case you could mess around a little bit more with your perk setup. I ran some camouflage round drum the other day and had some pretty good success. That was a fun time around with round drum with the Thompson, and it's one of those things where the round drum is probably the best overall attachment, but all the other attachments have their place except for the suppressor on the Thompson. Now, in real life, the Thompson is a submachine gun that was originally developed in World War 1, I believe, by John Browning, and it was developed alongside the BAR machine gun, and it was decided that it would be used as an infantryman's role to use in close quarter situations where a traditional rifle like the Kar 98 or the Springfield 1903 would be ineffective, and they needed something that had a little bit more close range firepower. But they needed something that would be effective in close range, but it wouldn't be something like a machine gun that would be heavy to carry around. I think in real life this thing actually only weighs about 5 pounds or something like that, so that's a light weapon, and that gives it a major advantage in situations where you can get in close quarters, because you can run around with it so fast, and you can be very, very effective with it even in real life. I mean, you're moving around fast enough that a pistol or whatever that the policeman would use is just not a good option against it. Now, it's one of the weapons that's basically known for its use as a gang member weapon. I mean, because there were just so many of them made in World War I, that after World War I, there were just so many of them just lying around, just waiting and just sitting there, that you could literally go out and buy one for 20 bucks at your local surplus store, and it was just, they were so cheap that anyone could afford it, and gangsters use it constantly to because it just had more firepower than a pistol that the police officers used. Now, in the game, it's a little bit different than that. I mean, it's one of the better submachine guns in my opinion. I'd say the only submachine gun that's really better than it is the Type 100. I mean, the PPSH and the MP40 are both good in different niche roles, but I'd say overall this is the best quote-unquote submachine gun. The MP40 is a better sniper rifle than all the other submachine guns, but as a submachine gun, this definitely fits the bill. I mean, it's got a nice 3-hit kill up close without stopping power, so it's not too necessary to run stopping power if you have the drum mag, but if you are running anything other than the drum mag, I definitely recommend stopping power, like I said. Now, as far as navigating this map goes, I like to stay on the left side of the map here, as you can probably tell at this point. I say that the right-hand side of the map has very little that offers for a rusher, and unfortunately killed by second chance again. It offers very little for a rusher because there isn't too many places where you can basically navigate the corners to your advantage, and that's what you have to do when you're using a submachine gun, is make sure you use the corners in the map to your advantage. And that's one of the things that's really, really effective with the submachine gun, is to just navigate the corners. Unfortunately, I think I get dropped out of a window there. That's actually kind of funny. You don't run into too many quick scopers or snipers in this game, simply because the snipers aren't quite as effective as they were in Call of Duty 4, but there is a good fair amount of them, I'm not going to lie. You can run into them every once in a while, and they can be funny and sometimes frustrating even when you run into whole teams of them. And this guy just keeps going up here with his bouncing baddies versus C4s. I don't know at this point, but he just keeps going up here, and he just keeps feeding me kills. The first time I shot a C4 or Claymore or whatever that was and killed him with it, and I just thought that was a funny thing. I mean, you don't usually shoot a Claymore or whatever, and it blows you up and the opponent up in the same shot. So I just thought that was a funny little clip there. And submachine guns in World at War are of a different breed than what they are in, say, Black Ops. In Black Ops, the submachine guns are a constant 3 to 4 hit kill. But in this game, I don't believe any submachine gun other than the PPSH is capable of anything less than a 3-hit kill up close. The PPSH actually does kill in like 6 bullets up close, if I remember, 5 bullets up close. But it has such a high rate of fire that it really isn't that big of a deal. I mean, with stopping power, it's a 4-hit kill, and it's got a 1,250 round per minute fire rate, so I feel like it's not too big of a deal there. But just the fact that the submachine guns are so powerful in this game gives them a role that they don't have in many other Call of Duties. The only other Call of Duty where I can say that submachine guns are really used is Modern Warfare 3, because submachine guns are very powerful in that game, just like they are in this one. And you know, that leads to some interesting things in the game. It can lead to being too many submachine guns running around and everybody uses the same weapon, or it can lead to a situation like there is in this game, where there's a good balance of things, but the submachine guns do dominate in close range like they're supposed to. But one thing's for sure, though, when using the Thompson, learning to pistol whip is very important. With only a 20-round magazine on your hands, you really need to learn to switch to your pistol when it's critical and finish off an enemy with that. If you can be accurate with the pistol, as I've said before, you can dominate in this game, and that's why Second Chance is so powerful in this game. I mean, you get a second life where you just have a pistol, and if you're effective with that pistol, you can kill quite a few people in Second Chance. And just the fact that you can be revived is huge. I think this was the first Call of Duty that implemented being revived at a second chance, and that's a huge fact because you can kill a person, and they can kill you with their pistol, and they can have their buddy come along and revive them, and that's huge. I mean, it's not something that's like I like, but it's a huge part of the game, and if you can learn to leverage it to your advantage, then you can pretty much finish out a game going flawless, but dropping on your back 5 times in a game, and you know, that can lead to a lot of people getting upset. I don't exactly get upset when I run a second chance. It's one of those things where, okay, I gotta switch to my pistol and finish you off. But at times it can be frustrating when I clearly have shot you 4 or 5 times, but I've run out of ammo with my weapon, and you just instantly turn around on your butt and you can shoot me 3 times and I'm dead. With your pistol, it's extremely powerful in this game. I think with stopping power, all the pistols can get a 2-hit kill up close, which in Black Ops they can't do. So the second chancers in Black Ops weren't as big of a deal because there was no stopping power to make those a 2-hit kill up close, which really punished you because in a lot of situations you'll be on a head-on-head gunfight. Someone will drop in a second chance and they'll just shoot 1 bullet at you and you'll be dead. But I think this first gameplay is winding down. It ends up being a 53 and a 20, rushing around with the Thompson, and that's the way I like to use the Thompson. I think rushing around is the way to use it. You don't want to try and sit back and play defensive with it. Although it is the most accurate of the submachine guns in my opinion, it really doesn't benefit from a defensive play style. Hope you guys enjoyed the first game. Let's jump to the second. Alright guys, we're back, and we got some team deathmatch here on Macon, using the Thompson with no attachments actually in this game. I think I had the suppressor unlocked at this point, but like I said, I don't care for the suppressor on the Thompson, simply because it removes so much of the range of this thing, and it needs all the help it can get in close quarters, because it only has a 20-round magazine. But if you are going to use a weapon like the Type 100 or the PPSH with a large magazine, definitely go with the suppressor if you have it unlocked, because it'll give you that advantage in close quarters that you really need. When playing Macon, what I really like to do is I like to navigate these outside huts. Now, there's some advantage to being in the middle of the map, which I do later on in the game. But as a general rule, I think that the outsides of the map are the way to go, simply because it's harder to see people here. I want to point out there's a couple hackers in this game. There's one on my team and there's one on the enemy team, I believe. And I don't think any of them are using like a God mode hack or whatever. So two of the guys are using no-clip hacks, which is frustrating at times. But you know, you live and you learn how to kill them. As long as they're not using God mode, I will stay in the game. God mode is the one thing that'll just make me quit, because there's no point in trying to play team deathmatch against a guy who has infinite health. I mean, there's no way to really outplay them to the point where you can be successful. But we do end up winning this game, and I end up outscoring both the hackers, if I can remember correctly. And that's a difficult thing to do. I mean, hackers are something that they have an advantage over you at all times. I mean, because they can use wall hacks or aimbots, and you don't know exactly what they're doing. So you can know at all times. You don't know whatever you're going to run into with them. And if you can outplay them to the point where you get a better score than them, it's very humiliating for them. And it's just one of those feelings that you don't get in a Call of Duties that much. But this one guy, dude, with his Arasaka is my bane in this game. I think he kills me 3 or 4 times with that. And that can be frustrating at times. You got the one guy running the bolt action rifle who can instantly turn around on you and just destroy you. I'm not sure if he was the hacker or not, but you know, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, you snipe me, it's time for me to bring back the pain of the Tommy gun. What this gun really excels at is being effective in close quarters, and it has the best long-range capability of all the submachine guns in my opinion, but that doesn't say too much about it, because all the submachine guns in this game are close quarters weapons. You try to use them at anything other than that, and you're going to be at serious disadvantage. But one thing I think is undeniable about the submachine guns is their effectiveness with steady aim in this game. I would argue that's the only 3rd-tier perk that you should use with the submachine gun, simply because it gives you that much more ability to shoot your submachine gun at close range with it. Yes, I pick up an MP40 here, don't be hating. I mean, it's all the people use, and when you're using a weapon with low ammo capacity like the Thompson, then you need to have every advantage you can get, and picking up a weapon is important. And especially when you got one of the fast swap time like the MP40, there really isn't too much to say other than that. That you always just want to be able to have the advantage and have multiple weapons at the same time. In this game, it's more important than in a Black Ops or whatnot, because you're gonna use less ammo here, and I just get destroyed by this guy with his knife, and oh man, I just got destroyed. That's just those funny moments where you're up against a sniper in close quarters, and he just absolutely destroys you with his knife. And I really shouldn't have gotten that kill. I mean, I had pretty bad accuracy there, and I don't just love when you find the one guy who's looking at an AFK guy with a Molotov cocktail, and they just have their back turned to you. They're looking at the one guy just standing there waiting for the Molotov to kill him, because Molotovs are something that's really difficult to kill with, and it gets you like 500 XP if you get a kill with one. for challenges and stuff. It's just one of those things where it's just funny when you come across someone like that. But for third tier perks, you could make a case for deep impact, or not deep impact, I mean extreme conditioning. But in my opinion, the only way to go is steady aim, because submachine guns are already meant to be used in close quarters, and if you can navigate the map in such a way, you don't need extreme conditioning to get from one side of the map to the other. So, you know, in the end it comes down to personal preference, but mine is definitely steady aim if I'm using a submachine gun, because it just gives you that advantage in close quarters that I don't think any other perk gives you. The ability to not have to aim to get a kill is very, very critical, especially when you're getting 2-hit kills. It doesn't take that much to down a target, and it can just be the difference between 10 kills in a match and 20 kills in a match. It really can. If you can learn how to use hipfire effectively as well as navigating the map, you can be a much, much better Call of Duty player, in my opinion. Weapons that have excelled in hipfire in the Call of Duty series are probably from COD 4. You got the AK-74, which was very, very effective hipfire, in my opinion. And the P90 in that game was absolute god mode hipfired. And like there, I just hipfired. I knew it was coming, so I hipfired around the corner. And hipfire gives you that advantage in those situations where you don't know exactly where a target is. So you can just generally spray in their direction, and they will, and your bullets will generally hit the target. And there's the hacker there. He's sprinting down the hallway, and that scared me, man. So I don't know what it was, but that hacker just literally scared me. And I pulled out the shotgun here, and I was lucky to actually pick up the kill because the shotguns are so inconsistent. One thing I want to point out here is that I come back here to call in my kill streaks. I definitely recommend coming back here if you can, because this is a spot where no one really looks, and you can leverage a couple nice lines of sight out of here. So if you're calling your kill streaks, always try to find a spot like this, because I've never seen anybody else use it, and it's a very powerful spot in the game. I think I do pick up my dogs here, and the dogs are very, very fun kill streak in Call of Duty. I don't think any other kill streak is really encapsulated the same feel as getting your dogs and having your dogs run around and kill people for you, and just watching them destroy, because you can still run around on the map with your dogs out, and that gives you an advantage over kill streaks like the chopper gunner or the AC-130 or whatnot, which are fun kill streaks, but they don't give you the same feel as watching your kill streaks go to work. I don't know what it is, but the dogs just have a unique feel to me, and I know I'm not the only one who feels this way. So yeah, at this point I have swapped out my Thompson for an SVT-40, because when you're out of ammo with a gun like the Thompson, there really isn't too much you can do. It's not one of the most used weapons in the game. I'd say it's probably the third most used submachine gun. I see the Type 100 and the MP40 use a lot more than it, but you know, sometimes you will find a random Thompson on the ground. You can pick up some ammo for it, and that's always a good situation. If you can get a gun that a lot of people use, so you don't have to use bandolier or have to swap your weapons out, that's always a good thing. And I think that's one of the reasons why the MP40 is so effective, because you never have to worry about ammo with it. You don't have to use bandolier, because everybody already uses it and everybody knows it's the best weapon. And that's one of the reasons why it shines over a lot of the other weapons in the game, because you can just spray and pray and not have to worry about your ammo count. I get destroyed again here by this guy with the SVT-40, and that's just going back for a revenge kill, and you should never really do that if you're thinking straight. But at this point in the game, I mean, it's almost over. I know there's some hackers in the game. I'm a little bit upset at that point, because hackers can really ruin the feel of a game, at least in my opinion, and they could just really mess up a game for you. I mean, you see a guy flying across your screen and destroy you with his God mode, and it's just like, what could I have done there? I mean, it's always nice being able to know that you could have won a gunfight if you had done something different, but against a hacker, there really isn't much you can do to know what I could have done better to get the kill there. Like I've said before, swapping out weapons is important, especially with your pistol, because the pistols, while they are good in this game, they're definitely not as good as a submachine gun off the ground, like the Type 100 or the MP40 even. And it's always good to have a ready weapon that you can count on. And the Thompson, while it is reliable in a lot of situations up close, it's definitely not the most reliable weapon in the game. And at a distance, it really suffers. So if you can pick up a rifle off the ground, or even a machine gun off the ground, then you can be very, very effective with it in a way that you really can't be without it. Because a weapon off the ground really has some advantages. Number one, it's relying off the ground, so you know there's going to be more ammo across the map for it. And number two, a lot of times people use bandoliers as a first tier perk, so you can have almost full ammo for a weapon in a lot of situations. And number three, you can get challenges for the weapon that you normally wouldn't use too often. I've gotten a lot of trench gun challenges that way, because I see people running around with a trench gun. I pick it up, get a couple kills with it here and there, and it can end up being that I get challenges with that instead of actually using it myself. Same thing with the Arasaka. I don't use the Arasaka too much, but that's how I unlock the sniper scope, is just picking up a scoped Arasaka off the ground and just getting 25 kills with it. But anyways, guys, this gameplay is winding down. We got like 4 kills left in the game, and one of the things that this game really does show you is the effectiveness of submachine guns, and it's really unfortunate they aren't as effective in Modern Warfare 2 or Black Ops. But if Black Ops 2 has submachine guns like this, I think we could see a real rise in the amount of fast-pacedness. I guess that's not really a word, but fast-pacedness of the game, because it just adds a unique feel to the game. But the game's over. It ends up being a 30 and 9. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'm Angry Beast, and I'm signing out.